Good evening, students. I hope you're all studying well and regular for current affairs. Now, in today's session, we have quite a lot of exciting news as well as some of the news that may be very important for your legal current affairs. So, let's get into it. The first news that we are discussing, National Florence Nightingale Award. Now, what is this? The President of India, that is Draupadi Murmu, she has announced this award for the year 2024, and this is specifically given to nurse professionals at a function that was held at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Now, what is this? It was established in the year 1973 by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Now, this award aims to recognize the rewards outstanding nursing personals for their exceptional contribution to the society. Now, what do you get in this award? It's a certificate of merit. You get a cash prize of rupees 1 lakh and a medal for this. This basically Florence Nightingale was an English social reformer and the founder of modern nursing. Okay, now this was because of her the name of the award comes from into picture because of her groundbreaking work in the Crimean War that has transformed the nursing from an untrained profession to a respectful medical field. Okay, so please make sure that you're making a note of this because we know for a fact that awards are something that are very important. Coming to the second one, establishment of Gram Nyayalaya. This is a new move that has come into picture throughout India to promote access of justice, and this has been institutionalized, or this has been come into picture by the Supreme Court of India. They are village level courts that are established under the Gram Nyayalayas Act of 2008. Okay, now this aims to provide accessible and affordable justice at the grassroots levels. Okay, now here the main objectives are three. Okay, the first one being resolve legal disputes quickly and effectively, second being minimizing the burden of higher courts, and third being ensure that justice is not hampered by geographical or socio-economical barriers. Okay, now this applies to all of India except Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim, as well as the tribal areas that are included in the sixth schedule of the Constitution of India. Okay, now this is presided by the Nyaya Adhikari, okay, who will be the one taking place, who will be the one leading the Gram Nyayalayas, a Gram Nyaya Adhikari who will act or has the same power and salary and benefits as a first class judicial magistrate. Okay, now coming to the third one, which is the Outer Space Treaty in the of the year 1967. It is an important discussion because in one of my earlier sessions I had mentioned about the Polaris Dawn mission that will be led by SpaceX for the commercial exploration of space, and it has now been criticized for breaking the Outer Space Treaty. Now, this treaty, it is an international law that regulates the country's exploration and use of outer space, including moon and other celestial bodies. In my upcoming slides, I will show you what exactly do we constitute when we say outer space. But talking about this, the OST, which is the Outer Space Treaty, came into picture as an outcome of the Cold War diplomacy. Okay, now this was formed during the period of intense rivalry between United States and the Soviet Union for space utilization. The space race began with Soviet Union launching their Sputnik in the year 1957, which was then raised as global concerns about whether the space could be ruled peacefully or become a new ground for conflict. Now, this treaty, multiple countries are signatories to it. We have 115 countries, which also includes India to it. So, please make sure that you're making notes of this. Moving on. Now, in this slide, you can see here, what do we include or where does space begin? It is clearly mentioned the Kármán line, which is roughly 100 kilometers to 62 miles above the Earth's surface, is where from here you can see that the space includes. So you have thermosphere, aurora, International Space Station from 330 to 410 kilometers. This is where the space begins. So mesosphere, stratosphere, troposphere are not a part of it. Okay. Now moving on, the Parliamentary Committee of Official Languages. It is very important for you to understand this as well as Make sure that you're making good notes of the whole Official Languages Act, official languages, schedules of the Constitution, amendments, the 3 or 4 major amendments via which some of the languages have been added under the official languages. Union Home Minister was unanimously re-elected as the chairperson for this committee. Now, this committee was formed in the year 1976 under Section 4 of the Official Languages Act of 1963. Now, the main objective here is to promote and ensure the efficient use of Hindi in the government workings. The committee is made up of total 30 members, out of which 20 members are of the Lok Sabha and 10 members are from the Rajya Sabha. The Union Home Minister acts as a chairman for this committee, and the work here is to evaluate the use of Hindi across government departments and agencies to identify opportunities for the improvement. Finally, what do? They submit a report to the President with recommendation for improving Hindi promotions and the use of it. Please make sure that you're making a good note and understand the whole committee on official languages. Moving on, we come to the next news, which is another important news when it comes to your legal current affairs, which is with regards to passive euthanasia. Now, of course, in our classes, we have already studied about passive euthanasia, talking about Aruna Shanbag's case or the common cause case. But this is another new case that has come into picture, which is of the Harish Rana case, where Supreme Court turned down their petition to form a medical board, okay, for the Harish Rana case of passive euthanasia. Euthanasia is basically a practice which is willingly ending an individual's life to free them from the lifelong suffering. Now this talks about right to live with dignity and as well as right to have a dignified death as well. Okay, so this here classifies into 2 major segments, one being active euthanasia and the second being the passive euthanasia. So try to make sure that you're understanding the crux of it and knowing about the case as well. Okay. Coming to the last news for today, which is Raman Magsaysay Award. In the last year, we saw that Dr. Kannan, who is an oncologist from Assam, received this award from India. What is this award? This is basically the Nobel Prize for Asia or of Asia. So Japanese filmmaker Hayao Miyazaki, considered as one of the greatest animators and directors, has won this year's 2024's Raman Magsaysay Award. Now, this is an internationally, as I told you, called Nobel Prize for Asia, and this award is an annual award which is in the memory of the former President Raman Magsaysay of the Philippines. The Magasaysay's administrative and military strategies played a pivotal role in countering the perceived threat of communism. The said award is meant to recognize living individuals and organizations in the Asia which best embody the meaning and essence of integrity, governance, courageous services, and pragmatic idealisms within the democratic society. Make sure that you're making good notes out of this. Drop it in the comment section if you need any in-depth analysis of any of the news, as well as in case if you have any doubt, I'm here to help you out. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care, and all the best.